Okay, so let's start setting our values. Let's start here. So you can see when I clicked, we'll go back again. When I clicked the add configuration, I have this shiny text box here. So I add the name. So I will start and say, let's start with the database name here. Let's go back to the code. Let's start from the top. So we have database URL. So let's start and say DB URL here and then create the property. So we have the MicroProfile property here. Now this here and the corresponding value that we pass to it will be grabbed by Payara Cloud and injected into this particular property expression here. So at runtime, or when we deploy our application, or when our application is running, the value is going to be whatever we set here. So let's set this value. Remember, we copied this value from the Neon database console here. We copy this value, so we can copy it. I can simply copy this here. Since I already copied it to a text file, I'll copy this, and this is referring to the JDBC driver, sorry, the JDBC URL. I'll copy this and paste this here. And then let's add the next key. This is going to be the DB server name here, and the server name refers to the database server. So let's copy all of these here. This is our database specific server on Neon. Let's add another key. This time around, let's add the database user, and the user here is my name. Copy and paste this here like this. Let's add the next one. We have database password. Of course, we add the password here. Paste the password here. And then we have, of course, because I am running this video so you can see my password, but in your own deployment and all that, you can restrict the fields so this would not show like this. So I could do this, or better still, let me save this first, and then I can go back and say edit configuration, and then I can say, let me refresh this. This was cached by my browser. So here you can see these values are here now. I can say restrict field, and I can restrict the DU, this and this and this. For instance, I can restrict this, and then you can see they are now restricted. They are not showing again. So on your own, you should keep this in mind. Of course, I am going to delete this after this video is done, so I can show them just fine. So let's continue. We've set the database server, password, user, and the URL. Let's see what's next. We need to set the actual database name, and this is DB name. So let's go back here and then add a property. We can say DB.name here. Then in adding the property, the database is called pcloud, like this. And then we add the last property, which is the open API key. So we can say open API key. And this open API key is referring to this particular property. So we can also add our open API key here. Again, I will be changing all of these so I can show them just fine. So we save. Now we've set all the values, so we can save this. So now we have fully configured our application. We have injected the values to these particular MicroProfile properties here. So at runtime, these will be substituted with the values that we configured on the Payara Cloud screen here. So with our configuration in place, we are ready to deploy our application. So deployment essentially means literally deploying, running your application, or making it available on the internet. So let's deploy our application here. And wait, so we could also be doing a bit of tada here to see how it goes.